Let's begin by clarifying the topic of this session. Denari has a module called e-correspondence that allows you to send statements by email. You can send receipts, pledge statements, pledge acknowledgments, and end-of-year tax statements with e-correspondence. That is not our topic in this session. We will be discussing email that you can send through Denari to name records either as a mass email or individually that contains specific messages in the same way you might send email through your personal email software. Let's begin by looking at mass email. Mass email is sent through Name Segmenter. The advantage of using Name Segmenter is that you can use the filters there to send your email only to a specific group of people. For example, you could email to only those who have a specific classification, or to those who gave more than $500 in some date range, or to those who live in a specific zip code, etc. I should note here that the mass email option from Name Segmenter is fairly basic. It does not offer some of the features like tracking or opt-outs that a specialized program like Constant Contact offers, but it does allow you to send a basic email message to a select group of people. One advantage is that the email is going out through Denari servers, so there's no limit to the number of emails that can be sent. Most email service providers like Gmail, Hotmail, Yahoo, etc. put a limit on the number of emails that can be sent at one time, so it's difficult to send a mass email from your personal account. Let's look at how it works. First, we'll click on the reports link here on the left, and this is a fairly large page, so it takes a few seconds to load. And then Query Tools, and then finally Name Segmenter. And you can go ahead and click on Add New to create a new segment. I'm going to select the one that I've already created. Here on the Filters tab, we can select our criteria. And if you need more specific details about how Name Segmenter works, you can check out the video on that topic. But I'll point out quickly that in addition to the other filters, you can also limit the output from this segment to just those with email addresses. You do that by expanding the miscellaneous section and then sliding down to the Has Email field and selecting only those with an email address. Once our filters are set, we click on the Output tab, and from the Output Type field, we'll choose HTML email segment file. There are other email options there, but this is the one that is used most often. First, we'll now select who the email is coming from. The values in this field will need to be set up first, and I'll show you how to do that a little later. Then we'll type in a subject, just like you would in your personal email software. Next, we can click the HTML editor link, and this is where you'll enter your email message. If you need more specific details about how the HTML editor works, you can check out the video on that topic as well. I've already typed the basic message, but you can see that you can add pictures, underline, bold, etc., and do anything that you do in an HTML document. When you're finished, click Save at the top and then close the window, and I realize those two buttons are just off your screen. Now we can simply click the Run Segment button here at the top, and Denari will begin sending the emails. There are a couple things to note here, however. As I said, Denari starts sending the emails when you click that link or that button. There's no way to stop it or to take it back, so you want to be sure that the list of names that the name segment produces are the ones you want, and that the email looks the way you want before you hit that button. One suggestion is to create a classification called text email or something like that, and assign that to just your name record. Select that classification in Classes In over on the Filters tab, and then run the segment to just you. Once you're sure it's looking the way you want, put in your real criteria and then output that to Excel. Do a quick overview of the names to be sure they're what you want, and then finally, when everything is accurate, run the segment to send the email. As mentioned earlier, this is a basic email function. It does not track bounces or read email like a specialized program like Constant Contact might. If you prefer the advanced features of Constant Contact or other email programs, you can output your list to Excel from NameSegmenter, then import that to Constant Contact and send your emails from there. A record of the mass email sent can also be created in each donor's contact section. This, however, is optional. Let's click the gear icon here at the top and then go to Setup. Near the top of this page on the right, we find the No Mass Emails in Contacts checkbox. If that is unchecked, Denari will create a contact record for each name record that has been sent an email. The contact record also includes the contents of the email body. We'll look at where that happens in a few minutes when we talk about single emails. Some Denari clients don't want to create the contact record each time an email is sent, either because they don't need a record or there are just too many records. If you send a mass email to 5,000 people, for example, then Denari will create 5,000 contact records. So you can turn this on or off here as needed. Now let's back up just a little to set up the email senders. These are again the members of your staff who will appear as the sender of emails that we saw a few minutes ago in the drop-down field. For that, we'll go to the email link and then email senders here on the right. To create a new record, click on Add New and fill in the email address and signature. The signature is just the name of the person. Click Save, and this person will now appear in the drop-down field in NameSegmenter as a selection in that field. As mentioned earlier, Denari will also allow you to send an email to a single donor and keep a record of that message. First, you must be logged in as a user in Denari, and your user record must be set up with a valid email address. Denari will automatically use your email from there as the sending email. If you're unsure of how your user record is set up, then your system administrator can go to the gear icon here and then User Setup. Click on the user record to be sure you have the correct email address there. Next, we want to go to the name record of the person to whom we wish to send the email, and for that we'll click on the Names button here on the left and then Name List Management, and then you can search for and select your name record. From inside this name record then, we can click on the Send Email link here on the right. The email window will open, and I'll just drag it over here a little bit so you can see it. The From field automatically shows the name of the user by default, and that again comes from your user record. So this is the sender. You can change it here though if you need to. The To field is a list of the active email addresses for this donor, and you can select whichever one you want. In this case, this donor only has one email address. We'll enter the subject and the message body below, and you can use the fields here available to format the message. Click the Send Email Message button over here on the right in the Quick Actions section, and then click to close the window. And the email is now being sent. Denari will create a contact record in this donor's contact section, and it will be marked as a single email in the Schedule Type field. Let's go back now to the name record and click on Contacts History to see where this email, where the email records are kept. So here you see a list of all the contacts, and so if you had run the mass email earlier and it created a contact record, you would see that here. If you sent a single email record just as we just did, you would see that record here and so forth. If you wanted to add manually new contacts, you could click on Add New to do that. I'm just going to go ahead and click on the one that's here to open it. So as you can see, this then provides you with a permanent record of the contact with this donor. And by the way, as I said earlier, this is the same location where the contact records will be created for the mass email as well, if you've turned that option on. This concludes this session on email from Denari. If you have any questions, please contact tech support through the help button at the top of the Denari page.